Hello, I am Edo Sadikovic. I am 28 and I'm going to tell you a short story about my life.
Tell me when you'll be mine, beautiful Clementine. I wanna take you drinking wine, beautiful Clementine. You're not afraid of rain. You're not afraid of rain.
I'm Gustavo and I'm 27 years old. I was born in Lisbon, in Portugal, and I work as an architect. I'm also a trainer on non-formal education, and I'm an LGBTI activist.
Okay, I am Gonçalo. I'm 28 years old. I studied economy, and right now I work. I have various part-times.
You're beautiful. Beautiful Clementine. I wanna walk with you by the hand, beautiful Clementine. You're not afraid of the dark, beautiful Clementine.
My name is Mirto Fifa. I work in Kalamata in our family farm.
I'm Nikos, I'm native from here and in Kalamata, and I'm part of a social cooperative enterprise.
My name is Eleni and I'm a herbalist. I collect the herbs from the mountain and I make some products that I sell and also some therapies.
My name is Rebecca, I am from Ferrol in Spain, and my project with my mates Raúl Salgado and Marta Corral is Ferrol.37.
My name is Miguel, I'm from Ferrol, from Spain, and I'm in a music group. I'm the guitarist of it and I do some second voices as well. We are three. There is a lead singer, it's a girl, and we have also a percussionist.
I studied economics, and meanwhile I was studying, I was trying to traveling a lot, so basically my important part of education was non-formal education and going to various seminars and visiting more than 30 countries.
Once, like some years ago, when I finished school, I went in an island that I fell in love with. Really beautiful island in Ikaria. And without knowing what I want to do in my life, I spent 2 years there. I grew up in the city, and so it was completely different for me living up to the mountain. So there I was first investigating nature and herbs, and at that point I decided that I wanted to be involved with this.
I have been raised up in this area, in this place. It's my family place. And after my education and after studies and another life, I choose to come back in this farm because it's a farm that for me needs to stay alive as a farm even in the next decades and show to people what is a real farm about.
I live in the suburbs of Lisbon. I studied in a school with a lot of problems because it is a school of poor neighborhoods in Cacém, which is between Lisbon and Sintra. It's a neighborhood which has the typical problems of a suburban area. It's stigmatized. It has the police is it has an aggressive presence. Many of my friends in school came from destructured families and all of this. My family itself is not the richest family around, so we had our couple of problems.
Between a lot of part-time jobs, I developed here in Lisbon a project called Lisbon Sustainable Tourism Project.
At the moment, I'm the head of the board of this youth LGBT association, Rede Execo. It means inequality in Latin. And we go to schools to talk about gender identity and sexual orientation, and we also have support groups for LGBTI youth in Portugal in different cities.
We started with this project in first months of 2013 because we were unemployed. So we need to work and we wanted to work. We knew each other for other jobs, also some of us we worked together, and we all have the need, we have the necessity of set something. And of course about our profession, about the journalism. So we create BIAFRA.37, a digital newspaper, because it was we can say the only choice.
We started the Prosejos social cooperative enterprise mostly because we wanted a reason to stay in Kalamata and be active here. So it started as a joke that a colleague of ours, Panayota, promoted a lot. Let's do something. Why we don't we do something? We wanted not to be unemployed, and we wanted to stay in Kalamata after some years that we have been around in Greece or in Europe. So we actually decided to do something on our own without any budget, and combining all the interests we had.
I came from a very small town called Prijepolje, which is on the border with Montenegro and Bosnia, and I tried to be quite active there. We were organizing international events and gatherings and youth exchanges within various programs, and so more than probably 200 persons came there in 2 years to do their projects with us, and somehow we were like developing a community on international level.
Since I know myself, I was maybe even obsessed with this idea of changing the world, or trying to do something to do my share and be part of it.
My breaking point was when I was 16, when I realized that, okay, the problem is not mine, that I'm gay, it's actually everybody else's. So at that moment I realized, okay, it's okay to be who I am, and actually I just have to change everyone else around me.
Everything started, I think that 3 years ago. It was in a family gathering. We were having some birthday of some family member, I don't remember who. And me and a cousin of mine started just playing some songs and covers, just having fun with the guitar. And at some point she told me like, hey, by the way, I have some lyrics that I've written, and maybe you could try to put some music in that. I said, okay, so just bring them and I will just sing it a cappella, and I will try to put something behind. So it just went like really fluent. I mean, like everything started like so easily, and in 10 minutes we had the idea of the song.
We have two things really clear at the very beginning. One, it was that we could not afford an important investment, and second, must be online our project.
I was trying not to study hard, but to study smart, and I think that when I finished my studies, I directly went to Spain, and I went to do European voluntary service, which is a long-term program within European Commission, and I went to one Spanish village on the Camino de Santiago called Fromista, where I learned to. When I spent 8 months living with other international volunteers and doing my voluntary service there. I was working in the city council and working with old people in the morning, and later on working in the youth house.
I went to a May Day demonstration with his friends. We met a group that was organizing a discussion after the demonstration, and we say, yeah, okay, let's see. We were curious. and we liked this group. We kept discussing with them, and eventually I joined this group, and I'm still a member of this collective.
Well, the beginning was quite fast, I would say, because only in 1 month we had I think like 7 or 8 songs, and we had also worked in some covers. And I think it was in November that we talked with some owner of a bar in Santiago and asked him if he would like to have us, have the first concert of The Neighbor. And we just showed him some audio recordings that we had in our mobile phones of our songs, and he really liked it. And he's like, yeah, of course, I would love to be like the first host for your group. So yeah, it was like in November of last year, and we did it. A lot of people came. I guess a lot of friends that we told to them, and people seemed to like it. So it was like, okay. And also we enjoyed a lot that moment of the concert. So it was like, okay, we have good vibes here. It feels like cool thing to do. We like it and we're happy about it. So let's try to keep on going.
We were thinking about what we could do. So we started meeting in a cafeteria, taking some coffee, sharing ideas. We can do this, not. I prefer doing other stuff. So the first thing it was know what we should do, and the second it was the name, and that it was a difficult process. I have to admit, it was difficult to find the proper name.
In the beginning it was a little bit difficult because I was searching for a proper house where to put the laboratory inside, because as you put more and more herbs, there is no space for you at some point and then. But till I came here, I had it exactly in my mind how I'm going to set it up, and it worked out. From my point of view, it was really simple.
Kalamata 5 years ago had a huge issue with trash, with illegal dams, and still has. But generally 5 years ago we had really very important issues, and as a result, as an activist, let's say, action, we asked for the municipality of Kalamata to let us build and create 10 places of social composting tanks, or to say it better, let us create 10 social composting tankers in order to put them in places of the city and learn the people how collectively manage their organic waste for their own good.
What we try to do in schools is to actually put the young people to think for themselves and to have this empathic approach to different people. So we have this non-formal education approach, so we put them discussing different issues and try to always relate to their own experiences. And from that on, we are not there just trying to say this is the right thing. So we're just helping facilitate the process for them to actually realize that they are being more or less prejudiced against these issues. So
it's an idea that was born as well with the fact that I was already involved with the tourism business, with the tourism industry, which is of course an industry that can make a lot of money, but maybe that money doesn't always go to everyone, to everyone, that's especially to everyone in the destination where tourists are coming. So just by being part of this industry, I wanted to be part of it in the right way. So I had to find a solution, and together with other people, I found maybe a solution. Maybe not for all the problems, of course not, but it's already something. It's already something to do tourism in a way that we can make profit with it, and with this profit we're actually trying to put the money into the community in different ways.
talking about the needs and the problems of the citizens, of our neighbors, and sometimes even our own problems sometimes, because we talk about the problems in the journalism with some problems that we are having now, laborals, in some of newspaper of the city.
I found people that were interested in natural therapies and and also for products that are made of herbs. And also people started searching for me because they heard that there's somebody that does this job. And, you know, asking how to say this, how all this stuff are made and why it's better for somebody to choose something that's natural. They started being more and more interested about it, so I started having some clients and also some clients that at some point and then were just my friends.
Right now we are located in Sende, which is co-working, co-living space in Galicia in northern Spain, right on the border with Portugal. This is one of our startups that I have started with my partner Maria last year. And basically we came in this village with 25 inhabitants, restored all old barn houses and converted everything into creative spaces. Indoor and outdoor spaces, together with various gardens where people from all over the world come here to build their beautiful startups or to work on their projects or to organize their events.
We educate people in what is traditional and physical farming, which are the natural process of growing food, which is a natural process of eliminating our print in nature, what is a natural process of learning our biodiversity, and which is a natural process of learning to use our biodiversity, our local biodiversity. So we do educational programs for schools, for groups of people regarding all these issues. We do production of organic, mostly oranges and mandarins, because we mostly have of this sort of trees here, but we also have organic traditional garden with seasonal goods, and of course we have a lot of wild greens, rare plants that needs to be protected. At least we think that they need to be protected. That's why we have created a big bank of seeds in our farm, where people that are interested into this process, the natural process, and they want to be a seed keeper. They come to us. They take for free small percentage of seeds, seasonal seeds most of times. We learn them, we educate them how to plant them, how to keep the seed while doing this process. And of course, they produce seed for themselves and they bring also seeds to us.
Afterwards, we had like 3 or 4 more concerts until February, and no, actually until January of this year. And then we wanted to keep on growing, and we talked to a percussionist that we knew and asked him if he would like to join us, if he liked the style or anything. And he really liked the idea because it was something new for him, and the idea of mixing our kind of soul style with pop and his roots of Latin rhythms, because he's from Venezuela. It was like something really interesting. So after that, we started rehearsing. We had a couple of concerts more until June. And in July we had a little tour in south of Spain. We went to, well, before I went to Lisbon, we had a concert there, and then we played 2 times in Tarifa. So it was like a huge thing for us. Only in 1 year we were already in the south of Spain. So yeah, it was a good experience.
We are three persons now, but at the beginning we were more people working in Ferrol 360. We started more persons this project. Some of them, they prefer or they decide to take the bag and leave the country, and others they just took another way. All of them, they were support for Ferrol 360. Some of them, they had kind of a design interest, so they create the logo. Others, they have informatic interest, so they develop the structure. So with some friends that they were also in the technician part, they help us, but it was personal, always persons, not institutions, not organizations.
We have this field of making our own publications and creating our own media. We have a study, a collective study activity as well. We meet every week to study, to read books, to discuss what's going on around right now. And we have the perspective of using this to action, bringing this knowledge and this information that we want to spread inside the movements.
Try to actually make more people in schools and as young as possible to address diversity. And especially not going to schools like for me to go, but actually to try to give tools to the people in the school, especially the students, to do it by themselves from really the beginning.
We didn't have too much money, we didn't spend too much money. Actually, we have to say that the banks, they don't give you really too much money right now for get any project, so that it wasn't an option. So what we could do it ourselves. So with the help of friends, family, reading a lot of books, reading blogs, YouTube videos, because everything is important, we developed Ferrol 360, everything. Logo, design, the structure, the sections, we did all by ourselves. So that it was difficult because we are journalists. We don't know about informatics, we don't know about the design, and we have to learn and we have to ask for a lot of favors. We have to say that we have really help from the outside, we can say.
Money, it's a challenge, it's a problem. But money can be surpassed with help and with work. So that challenge was surpassed easily enough, doing the right moves, don't spend money on things you don't need really, see what are your needs, how can you cover them without money, and friends is mostly what can cover them.
For me, for many years it was like just a thought and how I'm going to work it out. But from some point and then a friend of mine helped me and I started with some products and it came bigger and bigger and bigger. And it is like it is now.
The biggest challenges that we had to face were getting in touch with all the promotion of a group. We had never done anything like that. We didn't know actually how to do it. It was completely new for us. So getting the opportunity to play in some bars or in some locals, it was just going to the owners, going there with our little demo with 4 songs and just ask them if they want it. So you also have to play it a little bit like, yeah, we have other offers or whatever. So you had to play it a little bit cool so they will be a little bit more interested. But also you had to say that when we went to Tarifa, to the south of Spain, it was also difficult the time, the 3 of us traveling like for 1 week in a van and having to face all the setting up everything, taking everything to the van again, trying to find, I don't know, it was like 24 hours together. So living together with these people, even though you really like them or appreciate them, it's sometimes it's hard, but we managed it anyway. So, but yeah.
If it's the first time you do something on your own, for yourself, with colleagues, with people you are not related by blood, but you are related by passions and ideas, what happens to you first is that you find yourself like a newborn. You don't know anything. It's not something I've done before. I've never collaborated with others and have the whole everything depending on us. Know somebody that can tell us what to do, when to do it, how to do it. So I actually started understanding what it means to collaborate, and I'm still learning it, because it's something that I was not used to do, because it's different to collaborate on a project and different to collaborate on something that is your day, your life. 24 hours you think about something and you cannot think alone. But it's a process that gives you a lot of energy, mostly because when you lose something, you know somebody else from the group will have it for you. When you lose your passion, you lose your power, you lose your energy, you lose whatever happens to you, it will be given to you again from the group. And mostly understood why it's good to work all together.
This work that we do to try to change the world, it works in both ways. We can either work collectively, and that's how I've been doing, and also individually. So just for me to live my life and the people that are around me, and for me to talk to them about my life and who I am without hiding my identity, I think that's also making some changes, big changes around me.
I answered some questions that I had. I answered some questions of how to do, how I think things can go forward and how we can eventually change some stuff, which is organizing. I understood that, for example, it's important to link movements not only on the regional level, but also on international level, because we are facing a global problem. I understood that I need to understand how society works if I want to change it. So I'm also part of a group that is worried with studying how things work and the history of the movement.
It's a fight the whole time, it's a struggle, but in the end there is a satisfaction. But the satisfaction is like this: you cannot have satisfaction without struggling before.
We put a lot of physical work into rebuilding the place, and as I always say, a lot of physical work was during 6 months during the day, and during the night a lot of creative thinking and building the whole strategy and then whole startup. Now after 1 year, more than 500 persons came from more than 20 countries, and a few startups were born here, and a lot of really creative people, entrepreneur minds came, visited us, and keep coming back.
This experience completely changed my life because I've been playing guitar for 9 years, more or less, and I guess that for every artist there is some point that, mostly when you play some instrument, there is a point, at least in my case, that you really feel the necessity of creating your own stuff and to express yourself somehow, not just playing covers. That's cool, I mean, you have fun, but in my case I needed to say something more. So when I had this opportunity to create my own stuff and go to a concert and show people what I did and see also that they liked it, that was a really, I mean, a point in my life that changed my perspective, and it's like, okay, maybe I can even try to make a living out of this. Maybe not with this group, maybe not with other, but at least creating music and really going for that.
I must admit, it never liked me the idea of being my own boss. I know too many people like it, but not to me, because when you are your own boss, you have a lot of problems in your mind. You cannot just close the door when you are leaving your job, and that's it. And if something happens, it's not your problem. But when you are your own boss, when you try to develop a project, you try to get money, you try to everything get fine, that means a lot of problems, that means a lot of things in your head. So I didn't like it, but I must admit that with the time, I start a few months ago or maybe 1 year ago to start to love it. Because you have the power. You decide what you are going to do, what you are not going to do. Let's say, if you are working in a TV or a newspaper, you are just an employee, they are going to say you have to do this topic, you have to go to this conference of press, you have to do this stuff. But when you are your own boss, you decide, you have the power, what is going to be in the homepage of your newspaper.
It's difficult and really fancy and a really happy thing, being your own boss and have your own business, because you set up your own program. Also, when you want to have some time out of this, most of the days you can do this. And you can have all the inspiration you want so as to work it in the best way you can.
If somebody is thinking about doing something on his own, her own, absolutely do it. Be sure that it's much more work than he or she thinks. It has much more problems that he or she thinks, but everything you can overcome, everything you can surpass. And to do so, you need persistence. That's the only thing you need is persistence. We tried a lot of things in this process that some of them went well, some not. And among all of our passions, slowly we understood which of them we could apply and live from them and live for them in the same moment, so that this would not be a job but would be a way of living and make a living.
Today we have our communities with a lot of problems. So basically, someone who wants to solve a problem from at own community can build a product which solves the problem. That product can give enough money for this person, but at the same time you can help a lot of people just by providing solutions, digital ones or not digital ones, doesn't matter. So the most important part is like think on something that you like, then make a product from it, product which solves some kind of problem, and try to sell it.
For somebody that would like to be his own boss and to make his own stuff and work with it, I would advise just to believe in yourself, and everything will grow. Maybe slowly, maybe in a faster way, but it will work out, because if you truly believe in something and you love it, I think there is no way that it won't work.
You must love your job. If you don't love it, you are going to be tired, because, believe me, it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take you a lot of hours. So if you don't love it, you are not going to get it probably. So first of all, be passionate about your job. Choose something that really makes you happy, that it's kind of a hobby, we can say. Because if it's something like a hobby, when you are doing something that you really like, time passed.
If you really have a dream, you really want to create something, you really want to do something that makes you happy, and it's something maybe new, but it comes from your inside, you should go for it, and don't really get disappointed at the beginning if something doesn't work, if you find some barriers in the way. Because as I said before, I had some other groups before and they didn't work at all. And it wasn't the people, maybe it was just not the right time, not the right style, not the right moment. So at some point you will, I think that always, eventually, you will find a moment, the place, the people to go for it, and you will notice and feel the signs around. It's like, okay, so maybe this is it. And so I would say, like, just keep in mind what you want and never give up. Just go for it.
Encourage anyone just to start experimenting, and on the things they like, and this is if you do what you like, then it stops being a job.
If you think that making another word is saying only about this and not acting about this, it's a problem. So you are the same with a lot of other people that in a way struggles the real to come up.
Do not become kind of cynical intellectual that wants to think about reality but doesn't really believe it can change. So I'm part of a group that believes it can change.
I will keep putting my energy and I'll keep putting my time and my knowledge into things that I believe in and into things that I think can make, even if it's just a tiny difference in other people's lives or in changing the world. Then
you find satisfaction in a small part. This is what keeps you go and go and go.
I think the work that we are doing with the association, somehow it helps, and I know for sure that after like a session in a school, we have some people that actually change their minds, and for me that's really rewarding to know that that happened.
I still want to change the world, but maybe I'm not so, how can I say, maybe I would be happy if I just change something else which is smaller, because now I know that if all of us do something smaller, maybe the world will change. So if we're crazy enough to believe that we can change the world, we're actually the ones that will change the world.
I've known a man, just a simple kind one. I've known a love, just as big as the sky. Inside my lake I float and dream. Inside his eyes become myself. Would you live inside? Would you look and smile? When you found pain and darkness, would you live inside? Would you look and smile? When you found pain and darkness, I've known a man, just a simple kind one. I've known a love, just as big as the sky. Inside my lake